Man, I was hyped for this game. In fact, this might have been my most hyped game of the year. But as Best Buy delayed my physical pre-order by 8 days, paired with the fact that the reviews were coming out were looking bad, I thought, hey, I'm still gonna give it a shot. Well, here's my take. This is Beast of Reincarnation. Don't go away. So I don't want this review to drag on because I do have a lot of comparison stuff, so to keep it short, right into combat, let's go. Gameplay and combat as a whole has one massive Marianas Trench pothole, but everything around that pothole, genuinely, I had a lot of fun with. Beast of Reincarnation is your, I guess you could say, typical slashing game with spamming R1 with skill moves in between, on top of the fact that you can dodge and parry. But of course, not every game is a copy and paste of mechanics. This game, of course, brings its own uniqueness to the table. Entering combat, you have an option for stealth, and the stealth here, thanks to the movement in this game, I like the stealth. The stealth is really satisfying to pull off. Once you get into full-blown combat, the way that you use your skills, I like. You don't have a skill wheel, it's not mapped to different buttons. Here's how it works, and I kind of like this. So you're just spamming R1, right? Well, at any interval in between those hits, you can click square to use up one of the gauge points here. At each interval is a different move that often comes with different affinities. So you can just walk up and click square. You can also click R1 and then square. You could do R1, R1, square. R1, 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 square. And the more gauge that you have built up, the more of those square moves you can unleash. They become more powerful. Like if you want to do R1, square, 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 because you have 3 bars built up, you'll do like the ultimate form of that move. I do like this aspect of combat. And of course, we're not done here. The cover clearly shows a giant dog behind her. And the currency system to use Ku the dog's skill points is really cool. It's parry points. Every time you hit a parry, which is another reason why the dodge is dead on arrival in this game, it's parry only, I would suggest, you earn 1 skill point. And under his skill menu is a plethora of different moves. The only problem here is that the game generally doesn't give you any incentive to pick different ones. You'll actually be really surprised with how much effort was put into different movesets for Ku and Emma. The problem is one of the first moves you unlock is like the burn skill, and I thought it was kind of really strong. And then one of the first ones you unlock again is like the javelin spear that paralyzes the enemy. Oh my god. And after that, I unlocked 15 new moves, and I just thought, do I spend the skill points to fully upgrade that move to have it may or may not be better than the current move I have fully upgraded? Probably not. The thing that I do really like about Ku is how passively good he is. You can equip up to, I believe, 6 different moves onto his thing. A lot of them are passive. Like, you can equip, if you wanted, a medium health throw, a extra large health throw, and a large health throw, and he'll have 3 different health abilities to passively help you with. My go-to strat, though, honestly, was to have a mine trap build and a flame trap build with bombs, and I would just have Ku I would see him on the sideline just chucking bombs and nades and mines everywhere. He is also a very good doggy due to the fact that items that you miss while collecting Ku will automatically grab them for you, so nice quality of life there. Dude, you can stealth so easy in this game, holy shit. But back to Emma, of course, I said the parries are imperative in this game, especially if you're trying to use Ku's abilities. It's honestly your O button will get clicked 2 times and you realize, useless, move on. But luckily, the parries are very satisfying to use. In my opinion, it's a little bit rhythmic. I often noticed if I missed the first or second parry, I would just miss the next 4. You just get out of the rhythm of this guy's moveset and you just fucked. On top of that, hitting a parry will activate your sword's effect. Now, this was a really cool part of the game that had some really ass swords, but the majority of the swords are really cool. I often ran the flame build sword, later on switching to the electric sword, and there's also even other swords out there like poison and acid. Oh yeah. So combat, like in many other video games, is a core aspect, and luckily for Beast of Reincarnation, luckily, it's good because everything surrounding it is totally mid to ass. First up, the exploration. I would classify this as mid. It is such, I would say, lazy exploration and level design here. There are clearly like a whole map worth of land, and then the devs were like, let's just copy and paste like a group of enemies in 4 different areas, and then let's move on to the next one, guys. The majority of it is empty land minus those little groups of enemies you'll find. Luckily, the rewards you can find in these levels, which there are quite a bit, are okay. I think the majority of them I just skipped through because I didn't care what I was getting, but the odd time there was something worth it. I think what this game was really missing, which kind of ties in combat, was an actual item system for Emma. Emma utilizes 0 items in combat other than like regain HP. Like there's no items to like boost your attack by 25% for 60 seconds. Like even stuff like that I could have like utilized and saved for a boss fight or something. This game does that thing that I absolutely hate in games where it provides a bonus or an upgrade of so inconsequential that it's literally undetectable to the human eye. Whoa, heavy. Increase damage attack by 1.03, bro. So while exploration really isn't that good, like at all, the thing that kind of holds it together, like glue at a kindergarten's class, is the fact that the movement's really fun.
I'm really liking the movement controls. It's just like, it feels very fluid.
Due to story reasons, Emma can jump really high due to vines. She can also send vines out as a walking platform. Yeah, this is kind of like sandbox, generate your own land kind of thing. What it does is that it makes enemy encounters completely free for you to how do you engage them. It's smooth enough, it's satisfying enough that I do like the movement system here.
Can I stealth this guy? That'd be like really funny. Oh my god, the platform is so satisfying. Yo, little bro. Oh my god.
So the story. Of course, this is the beginning of the review. I'm talking about the gameplay, story aspects, and everything else involved mechanically. And the story is... no, it's not that good. I actually genuinely think this story had potential. Like, it's so... this game is so inspired by games like Stellar Blade and Nier Automata, and I actually can sit here and I believe that this game, Beast of Reincarnation, has a better story and characters by the slimmest margins than Stellar Blade. Of course, Nier Automata, it's like looking up to God. But for Beast of Reincarnation, I think, in my opinion, I've identified the one thing this game is missing. Heart. Passion. I think that on paper, if you were reading this book as a light novel or something, I think it'd be kind of interesting. This game is super fresh off release, so I won't spoil anything, but Emma is a pretty soulless character for lore reasons. She is the purifier here to kill off all the Nushi, aka Beast of Reincarnation big boss at the end. These Nushi are essentially animals taken over by this plant sort of demonic thing. That's the easiest way I could like get the story across in like 30 seconds. So you're traversing these lands, continually killing these bosses, but unfortunately for Emma, unlike those who were inspired before her, she doesn't really have that great of a character arc. The same can be said for everybody else in the story. Like, there's a couple side characters I kind of like, but there's not much done with them. I think Brad is totally ass in my opinion. Like, this guy never ever gets out of his seat. In fact, he never even like takes his hands off the steering wheel. The only person I did genuinely super like was Kagura.
Emma no okage. So. Emma. Arigato.
And I'm like slow easing into the presentation part of this review where I talk about how this game looks visually, how it sounds audibly, because the part where I say that this game lacks soul is represented so cleanly in cutscenes.
もう安らかに眠れ。その身なり、浄化兵だな。
See how the cutscenes have this like almost dead air awkwardness to them? It's almost like you can see the director pointing to everybody to do their lines. Like, oh, you said your line? Okay, now you go next. It's not a problem with the voice acting itself because the voice acting is good, which for me, I played in Japanese, which everyone pour one out for the people who play this game in English, because this game has a absolutely demonically bad English dub.
Yes.
Just let us know when you're heading out, okay?
Why?
I don't want to be left guessing if you've run off, or if you're dead in a ditch somewhere.
I won't run away.
That's worse than what I thought.
But even the good voice acting of the Japanese could not save these cutscenes from just being borderline boring. There's no flow, there's no art of storytelling here, like at all. There's like peaks and story moments I can think of and remember that I can't spoil, but all the glue holding those together was done by like a kindergartner who just had like free access to the glue drawer in kindergarten. And it's like, I pasted all these on the paper, story. And as I transitioned fully into presentation part of this game, remember when I mentioned in combat it has that one huge pothole? Well, we kind of got to talk about the boss fights, because this game falls apart in the boss fights. You'd think that the game company behind Pokemon, which, listen, I don't have the number in my head, but I'll Google it and put it like over here somewhere. You think that they could put a little more budget into these boss fights.
Why is there no music? Bro, this cutscene seems insanely low budget, man. Did I just die?
It's either no budget or it's either extreme laziness. Either way, low budget games with one person behind it can do better than this. I really want to highlight these bosses because they are just completely dookie. For one, do the math on this. Off the top of my head, I would say there are 15 boss fights in this game, and there are a total of 5 bosses. So yeah, you're redoing the boss fights a lot. And a lot. The worst part about this is that they're not enjoyable. Their movesets are predictable. Okay. Oh, but they have powered up versions, and when you fight them the second, third, fourth, and even fifth time, they obviously like power up and get stronger, and, you know, do something. Nope. Same moves. In 2 of the boss fights, the cow and the horse do the same moves. I actually genuinely cannot stress how cheap and lazy the boss fights are in this game. Here's some examples. Music is a huge important part of video games, in my opinion. I think it's very underrated. It telegraphs the emotion of a game to a player. It is the wind in the sails. It drives the game in certain directions emotionally. Beast of Reincarnation, I'll touch on the soundtrack more later, but as I said, everything falls apart in these boss fights, including the music. The music is good until you hit the boss fights, and I don't understand that. The music should have doubled in the boss fights. It's supposed to be climactic. Take this fight in Nier Automata, for example. I didn't even cherry pick this. I clicked a random boss fight and went to a random point. Even if you've never played the game before, you're gonna get adrenaline just because of the music in this fight. Now compare that to Beast of Reincarnation.
行けエマ。
Okay, well, maybe Nier Automata is too high of a bar here. Well, let's compare it to Stellar Blade. Okay, when you finish a boss fight off in this game, you get the finale execution cutscene. Okay, so how does that look here in Beast of Reincarnation? Cheap and lazy? Yeah. Compare that to Stellar Blade.
It's a huge f***ing difference.
Beast of Reincarnation's presentation for me is absolutely jaw-droppingly disappointing. Literally almost everywhere I looked. I think a big reason why this game seems so robotic and passionless, in my opinion, is due to the fact that the animations of characters, well, the characters themselves looked fine. The animations are like worse than Ubisoft levels here. Like they're literally like, yes, I'd like to eat that. But the laziness doesn't stop here still. Enemy design. Variety? Never heard of it. Now, it's not as bad as Resident Evil 7, but it is probably the second worst game for enemy variety I've ever seen. 20-hour game this took me. I think I saw 75% of all enemies, variety-wise, in the first 30 minutes. You're always going to be fighting robots. Two sword robots, one sword robots, three sword robots, big giant robots, and then the other half of enemies is the infected wildlife. Plant infected bears, boars, horses. Was there others? Oh, there was a flying enemy. Yes. There was a point where a game where I finally got to the forest and you think, wow, made it to the desert area. I wonder what kind of enemies it's the same. Music here is the literal only thing saving this game from getting an actual 1 on presentation. I'm not kidding you. It would have been a 1 if it wasn't for this. Yeah, the boss fight music is bad, but everything else for music is fantastic. The ambient music that you get running around levels, fantastic. My highlight for favorite soundtrack would be the hub's theme. In fact, everything comes together in this hub. This is where you talk to Kagura. This is where she is. This is also where Brad and Ku is. There's a shower to shower off all the blood that stained your suit the whole way. You have your very own inbuilt vegetable garden that you can grow stuff from, including a chicken coop. Of course, all layered over a futuristic take on these things. Eating food, by the way, made by Kagura will increase your stats. And overall, I honestly really do like the hub world. But wait, I'm not done for presentation. Yeah, you thought I'd save the best for last to try and soften the blow of how bad this game is. Nope. So my most popular YouTube short of all time currently is my rankings for best suits in Stellar Blade. Why would that be popular? Because people like customization. And Stellar Blade had great customization. The customization here is literally hat on or hat off. You do actually find different armor sets in this game, but they provide no actual visual change to the character.
Lazy.
So Beast of Reincarnation here. I've rolled the credits, and I can genuinely sit here and say I had fun playing this game. In this category right here, overall impact, my overall opinion on this game, is the reason why I review games in this way. I think one of the more recent reviews I did, Final Fantasy VII Remake, I think is a better game on paper and everywhere else than, where's the case, Beast of Reincarnation. But gun to my head, I would play this over FF7 Remake in a heartbeat. Because at the end of the day, despite its flaws, every time I went to load up the game, I was excited. And I played for like 4 hours at a time, and I thought, should I go to bed? Or, well, the next save point can't be that far, right? Okay, just a little more.
Good combo there. Brother. That was nice.
I can't recognize it as something that I would recommend to anyone at any time. Unless you're like a huge Nier Automata Stellar Blade kind of genre fan. Because the best way to think of this game, Beast of Reincarnation, is in the terms of the Pokemon scale. Beast of Reincarnation is literally the starter Pokemon. Okay? Stellar Blade is your second evolution. And of course, Nier Automata is the finale evolution. My enjoyment for Beast of Reincarnation, you ever see videos of guys who hit their like 1 rep max in the gym on the bench press and they just barely lock it out? Like, my enjoyment was, I was like, I gotta get past that line. Okay, I like this game. There's just way too many anchors of lazy game development here that I just cannot recommend. But in terms of numbers, it ain't looking too hot. Beast of Reincarnation, a game I was really hyped for, is a 5.5 out of 10. I mean, sometimes not every game you're hyped for is gonna be a blockbuster seller. But the next game I'm playing, I've had for honestly a couple months. I played the first game last year in anticipation of the sequel. Yes, I'm talking about Code Vein 2. It actually came out in like February, guys. I'm sorry. But I have to get that done before the game release apocalypse is upon us, which is kind of already is. But expect Code Vein 2 coming up next. For now, I'm your host, Beneath the Mask. Hope you're just real. Peace out. I know you're here to find out the Easter egg soundtrack that I put in at the end of every video, but did you know that I have a Buy Me a Coffee page? A page where you can donate to your favorite YouTube creator. Half of the money that's donated to that page is personally donated back to Child's Play Charity, a charity that's dedicated to supplying games and technology to children in hospitals around the world. So that's that. Did you guess the soundtrack?